and lying down here. She must be crazy or insane. And then the mother says, don't say anything. You know, it is so embarrassing. Just let's move on. So even like discussing this painting as a work of art, you know, between mom and you know, between a child and mother is embarrassing. And then there is a man listening to it, like a well-dressed man. It's like a, you know, laughing at them, like, oh, you know, like, yeah, of course, it is a shocking subject matter. So here, what they are telling us is a huge gap between artists or art circles and then the general audiences. But what is considered a standard of oil painting for public exhibitions or art competitions is this kind of work. This is a Japanese painter's work called Kuroda Seiki. So Kuroda is his family name. So artist Kuroda studied in Paris. And when he came back in late 1890s, he started to show his works to the Japanese public. But he went through the same situation. Like Kuroda Seiki used to have some shocking nude painting in French style, and he was censored. He cannot show those kind of work. So this is the kind of work. It's called By the Lake. By the Lake. This was considered a great example of oil painting with Asian subject matters. So the point is, you need a little bit of landscape, beautiful landscape, and then this is a painting of a woman, but this woman is not a famous woman. This woman is a young Japanese woman. It shows the Japanese style beauty, and then the youth, right? Like she is at her prime age of what, 21 years old or something, you know, like a beauty and how can I say, a decorum, meaning she, even though she's a beautiful young woman, she didn't take off her clothes, right? There is a certain decency. Decorum is well maintained. So this kind of painting was considered the best work. And in the eyes of European audiences, this Asian woman didn't have fancy European dresses, right? It has it's Japanese yukata, meaning bathrobe, so that it is in a way distinctively Japanese. And then the Japanese landscape, but the painting itself is oil painting, European technique, and it's a pretty acceptable subject matter. It's well painted work. So this kind of work will remain as a standard in modern period. And Kim Eun-ho here, he is also an ambitious young man, and he went to Japan to study. This is self-portraiture in Japan. You can see that resembled, right? You can imagine that this young man grow old to be like this grandfather on the right side. So he was a remarkably talented painter, and he was good at both oil painting and the Japanese style, you know, in a way like a Japanese style ink and brush painting. He was good at both. So this is his ink and brush painting. This is painted on silk. And this is a Seungmu 1955 work. This is another Kiseng, a beautiful lady from the Joseon dynasty. And then this work is Seungmu, a Buddhist monk engaged with dance. So these kind of works were very well received in Japan and in Korea as representative work. And then he continuously painted a beautiful lady, and this type of work was well sold. So same idea. It's like Kuroda's work By the Lake. There is a beautiful, youthful lady, but dressed in Korean dress. This is a modernized Korean dress, not the Japanese clothes, and standing in a hold on. Okay, hold on, this card. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I thought I got lost because my mouse was frozen and right now. So anyhow, so I'm glad that it's working. So I am going back to my lecture mode. Hold on. Modern, yeah. So Kim Woo-no is remarkably talented. His paintings were well sold, and this is the kind of work that he was creating for the Japanese audiences. Hold on. Get the pen. Yeah, this is modernized hanbok. So they are going to put the leather shoes, make the skirt a little bit short, like a knee length, so that it's easier to walk around. And then the jacket, it used to be really short, right under the armpit, but it became elongated. And then when they created this modernized hanbok dress, they sometimes used European textiles too. Not just the traditional silk or cotton. They would use woolen fabrics or velour, other types of fabrics as well. So kimono was selling, but after 1945, he became a representative artist of Korea, so that he's going to create this kind of standard portraiture of historical figures. So this is the founder of Joseon Dynasty. And can you recognize who this person is? Military officer? Lee Sun-shin. Remember, like the turtle boat, the Navy admiral who saved Korea from the Japanese soldiers. So Admiral Lee Sun-shin. And then this is another patriotic hiseng called Nonge. So he is Kim Woo-no used to paint this standard portraiture. So if you see the Korean currency, there are portraiture of historical figures, and who started that prototype? It's a Kim Woo-no. So he was very successful. And then 1920s and 30s, there is now spread of new culture. From 1890s, European or Western culture was spreading, right? And then if you, after 1919, the March 1st movement, if you go to 1920s, you are going to see these schoolgirls. These are university students. So women can go to universities. And Korea from the late 19th century was become evangelical. So a lot of Christian missionaries came to Korea. They built some schools as well as orphanages, provided this social charity work. So by 1920s, it was common that women go to school. But these are newspaper caricatures. Again, they are satirizing or criticizing women going to universities. So not many people can go to university or school. So for them, they just consume these caricature images. So in their eyes, in public mind, women in school, women who are going to schools like Ewha Women's University or other colleges, they are emulating American teachers. So there is a name called Sarah and then Anna, and then these two Korean girls, they also named themselves like Mary, Ira. So in a way, they are learning American lifestyle and American learning. And then if you see here, people are usually deplore that these well-dressed modern girls from 1920s, what are they doing? The way she dressed was criticized, or the way she holds arms in arms with a man, that's the end of the world. How can woman show her legs like this and shaking her hips like this, and then walk side by side with a man, it's the end of the world, I must die, I've seen such a horrible scene, those kind of ideas. And then some women you know, these women, the girls in the school, they have a crush on high school boys, you know, well dressed. It is a boy, you know, high school boys. And, you know, do you go to school to date? You know, that's what they're saying.